Have you ever sat in a crowded room, surrounded by laughter and chatter, but felt like you were on the outside, looking through a glass wall, like you were born in the wrong world, the wrong time, or the wrong life? You're not alone, and Carl Jung, the legendary Swiss psychiatrist, has a name for this: the mark of otherness. It's not a flaw. It's a sign you might be one of the rare souls he called consciousness pioneers, people born to see, feel, and think on a different frequency. Welcome to Jung Psyche Hub, where we uncover the hidden truths of the human psyche. In this video, we'll reveal the 8 unmistakable signs that you were never meant to fit into this world, and why that's your greatest gift to humanity. By the time we reach sign 7, you'll discover something about yourself that could explain why you've always felt so different. Ready to find out if you're one of Jung's extraordinary outsiders? Let's dive in. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly sensed something off, like a heavy vibe? No one else seems to notice. While everyone's laughing and chatting, you're picking up on a forced smile, a nervous glance, or a tension that hangs in the air like static. This isn't just a gut feeling, it's what Carl Jung called differentiated consciousness. The first clear sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into the first of 8 signs that mark you as one of Jung's rare consciousness pioneers, people who see, feel, and think on a different wavelength. This is about why your unique way of seeing reality is a hidden superpower. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who reshaped how we understand the mind, discovered that most people live within the collective consciousness, a shared lens of beliefs and norms that filters reality into a predictable pattern. It's like everyone's wearing the same pair of glasses, seeing the world the way society expects. But some people, maybe were born with a different lens. Carl Jung called this differentiated consciousness, a rare gift to perceive layers of reality others completely miss. You spot patterns, connections, and deeper meanings that slip past the crowd. Picture Anna, a 28-year-old graphic designer, at a friend's birthday party. While everyone was caught up in small talk, Anna felt a quiet rift between 2 guests. It was like a low hum in the room, unspoken resentment she couldn't ignore. Later, she found out they'd had a falling out no one else picked up on. For Anna, this wasn't a one-off. She often senses emotions, energies, or truths others overlook, like catching a hidden motive in a conversation or feeling the mood of a place before anyone speaks. Sound like you? Carl Jung believed this ability stems from a deep connection to the collective unconscious, a shared pool of human experiences, memories, and archetypes beneath everyday awareness. While most people focus on surface-level concerns, bills, deadlines, social media, you're tuned into a deeper frequency. You might sense the pain behind someone's laugh, see the bigger picture in a chaotic moment, or feel drawn to ideas others call out there. But here's the thing. This gift can make you feel like an outsider, like you're speaking a language no one else gets. Carl Jung said it best: your vision becomes clear when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. If you've ever felt like you see a world others don't, you're not imagining things. You're awake in a way they aren't. This doesn't make you better, it makes you different. Your perception is a strength, even if it feels isolating when others don't understand. Here's a practical takeaway. Trust your unique vision. The next time you sense something others miss, like a vibe in a room or an insight about a situation, write it down. Over time, you'll see how often your instincts are spot on. This isn't about proving others wrong. It's about honoring your ability to see deeper. Carl Jung believed this is the first step to becoming your truest self. But we're just getting started. In the next chapter, We'll explore why social interactions might leave you drained in a way others can't relate to. Stay with us. This journey into your unique psyche is about to get even deeper. Have you ever left a party or a work meeting feeling like someone pulled the plug on your energy, while everyone else seems to thrive on the buzz of conversation? You're counting the minutes until you can escape to recharge in solitude. This isn't just social overload. It's what Carl Jung called the hallmark of introverted intuition, the second sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into why social interactions can feel like they're draining your very life force, and how this points to your unique role as a consciousness pioneer. Carl Jung, the brilliant mind who uncovered the depths of the human psyche, noticed that some people don't gain energy from social settings, they lose it. Unlike extroverts, who light up in crowds, these individuals feel overwhelmed by the chaotic energy of group dynamics. Carl Jung called this introverted intuition, a psychological function that makes you hypersensitive to the unspoken emotions, tensions, and energies swirling around you. It's like you're a human antenna, picking up signals others don't even notice. Take Mark, a 32-year-old writer, at a friend's wedding. While everyone danced and laughed, Mark felt like he was drowning in a sea of emotions. He sensed the bride's hidden anxiety, the groom's forced cheer, even a guest's quiet grief, none of which he could explain. By the end of the night, he was so drained he had to slip away early, retreating to his hotel room to recover. For Mark, this wasn't shyness or social anxiety. It was like his soul was absorbing everyone's unspoken feelings, leaving him exhausted. Does this sound like you? Carl Jung discovered that people with introverted intuition, as their dominant function, are wired to tune into the collective unconscious, the deep undercurrents of human experience. In social settings, you're not just hearing words or seeing faces, you're picking up on suppressed anger, hidden sadness, or masked insecurities. All at once. It's like trying to focus while a dozen radios blare different stations in your head. No wonder you feel wiped out after a few hours of small talk or group chatter. Carl Jung put it beautifully. Solitude is for me a fountain of healing which makes my life worth living. If crowds leave you feeling like a drained battery, if you need hours alone to feel like yourself again, or if you often feel like you're playing a role in social situations, you're showing this sign. Your need for solitude isn't a weakness. It's your psyche's way of protecting your energy and keeping you grounded. Here's a practical takeaway. Embrace your need for alone time. The next time you feel drained after a social event, carve out space to recharge, whether it's a quiet walk, journaling, or just sitting with your thoughts. Track how much time you need to feel whole again. It might be less about the event and more about the energy you absorbed. This isn't about avoiding people. It's about honoring your sensitivity so you can show up as your truest self. But there's more to your unique nature. In the next chapter, we'll uncover why you might feel like an anthropologist observing humanity from the outside. Stay with us. This journey into your psyche is about to reveal even more about who you are. Have you ever sat through a family dinner or a work meeting and felt like you're watching a documentary on human behavior? Everyone's playing their part, laughing at the right jokes, following unspoken rules. But you can't help but wonder, why do people do this? Why does this feel so scripted? This isn't just detachment. It's what Carl Jung called objective consciousness, the third sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into why you might feel like an anthropologist studying humanity and how this unique perspective marks you as a consciousness pioneer. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who peeled back the layers of the human psyche, noticed that some people move through life not as participants, but as observers, while most people are swept up in the flow of social norms, traditions, and expectations. You step back and see the machinery behind it all. Carl Jung called this objective consciousness, the ability to see through cultural conditioning and question the rules everyone else takes for granted. It's like you're watching a play, noticing the stage directions while others are lost in the story. Take Sarah, a 5-year-old high school teacher, at a staff meeting. While her colleagues nodded along to the principal's new rules about dress codes and schedules, Sarah couldn't shake the thought, why are we all pretending this matters so much? She saw the meeting as a performance, people agreeing to rules that felt arbitrary, just to fit in. Outside work, Sarah often felt the same way about social rituals, like small talk at parties or holiday traditions that seemed more about habit than meaning. She wasn't trying to be difficult. She just couldn't unsee the absurdity of it all. Sound familiar? Carl Jung believed this perspective comes from a deep awareness of human potential that transcends current cultural limits. You're not just questioning why people follow certain rules. You're seeing how those rules often hold humanity back from something greater. It's as if your soul remembers a bigger picture, a potential for deeper meaning that others have forgotten. This makes you feel like an outsider, like you're studying a strange tribe whose customs don't quite make sense. Carl Jung put it powerfully. The individual has always had to struggle not to be overwhelmed by the tribe. If you've ever felt like you're watching society from the sidelines, analyzing its patterns, or wondering why people accept things that seem illogical or shallow, you're showing this sign. Your detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. A gift that lets you see what could be, instead of what is. Here's a practical takeaway. Lean into your observer's perspective. The next time you feel like an anthropologist in a social setting, jot down one thing you notice. Maybe it's a ritual everyone follows without questioning, or a norm that feels off. Ask yourself, what would happen if we did this differently? This isn't about judging others. It's about using your clarity to spark ideas for a better way. Carl Jung saw this as the first step to inspiring change. But your unique nature goes deeper. In the next chapter, we'll explore why you might feel a gut-level resistance to authority figures who don't deserve their power. Stay with us. This journey into your psyche is about to get even more revealing. Have you ever locked horns with a boss, teacher, or leader? Not because you're rebellious, but because something about their authority just felt wrong. Their words might carry weight, but you see through their empty titles or self-serving motives. This isn't just defiance, it's what Carl Jung called the wise ruler archetype at work. The fourth sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into why you feel a gut-level resistance to illegitimate authority and how this marks you as a consciousness pioneer. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who mapped the human psyche, observed that some people have an almost allergic reaction to power that's misused. Most folks go along with authority figures, managers, officials, or even cultural norms because it's easier to conform. But you can't help but push back when power feels unearned or corrupt. Carl Jung tied this to the wise ruler archetype, an inner blueprint of what true leadership should be: power, wielded with wisdom, fairness, and service to others. When you encounter leaders who rule through ego, control, or incompetence, it's like a red flag waving in your soul. Take David, a 30-year-old software engineer. At his tech job, his manager pushed a new project timeline that David knew was unrealistic, designed more to impress higher-ups than to benefit the team. While his colleagues nodded along, David couldn't stay quiet. He challenged the plan, not to be difficult, but because he sensed the manager's priorities were about personal gain, not the project's success. His pushback got him labeled as difficult, but David wasn't trying to stir trouble. He just couldn't ignore the gap between the manager's authority and their lack of wisdom. Sound like you? Carl Jung believed this resistance isn't learned. It's baked into your psychological DNA. You instinctively sense when power lacks moral grounding, like a compass pointing to true north. This makes you clash with bosses who prioritize status over substance, teachers who enforce rules without reason, or systems built on control rather than care. It's not that you hate authority. You crave leadership that's authentic and just, as Carl Jung put it. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, love is lacking. If you've ever felt your stomach churn when faced with an unworthy leader, if you struggle to respect titles that don't match integrity, or if you've been called stubborn for questioning unfair rules, you're showing this sign. Your resistance isn't rebellion, it's a call to uphold a higher standard of leadership. Here's a practical takeaway. Trust your inner compass, but channel it wisely. The next time you feel that urge to push back against authority, pause and ask, what's off here? Write down what bothers you. Maybe it's a leader's dishonesty or a rule that feels unjust. Then, find a constructive way to respond. Like asking questions or suggesting solutions. This isn't about picking fights. It's about honoring your instinct for authentic power while making a difference. Your unique perspective has more to reveal. In the next chapter, we'll explore why conventional success might feel hollow to you. No matter how much you achieve, stay with us. This journey into your psyche is about to get even deeper. Have you ever hit a milestone? Everyone cheered for a promotion, a big paycheck, a shiny degree only to feel empty inside. Like it didn't matter as much as it should, while others chased titles, money, or status. You're left wondering, is this it? This isn't just dissatisfaction, it's what Carl Jung called the transcendent function at work. The fifth sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into why conventional success feels like chasing shadows for you and how this marks you as a consciousness pioneer. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who unlocked the secrets of the human psyche, discovered that some people are wired differently when it comes to success. Most folks find fulfillment in climbing the corporate ladder, buying a dream house, or earning social applause. But for you, these things fall flat. Carl Jung called this the transcendent function, a psychological drive toward meaning, purpose, and wholeness that can't be satisfied by external rewards. You're not motivated by what society calls success. You're pulled towards something bigger, something that serves a deeper human need. Take Lisa, a 38-year-old marketing director. She had it all: a corner office, a six-figure salary, and a resume that made her colleagues jealous. Everyone thought she was living the dream. But inside, Lisa felt like she was sleepwalking. The promotions, the bonuses, the praise, they didn't touch the part of her that craved meaning. One night, after a long day of meetings, she sat in her car and cried, asking herself, why does this feel so pointless? She wasn't ungrateful. She just couldn't shake the sense that her work wasn't contributing to anything real. Sound like you? Carl Jung believed people like Lisa are driven by a need to align their lives with a higher purpose, whether it's healing others, creating something meaningful, or pushing humanity forward. While society rewards acquiring wealth or status, you're wired to contribute to human evolution, consciousness, or collective healing. This makes traditional career paths feel like a trap, like you're betraying your soul for a paycheck. As Carl Jung put it, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. For you, that means rejecting society's script and chasing what sets your heart on fire. If you've ever achieved something impressive but felt hollow, if material success leaves you cold, or if you're driven by purpose over profit, you're showing this sign. Your soul isn't here to collect trophies, it's here to make a dent in the universe, to serve something greater than yourself. Here's a practical takeaway. Start exploring what truly lights you up. This week, Take 10 minutes to write down moments when you felt most alive. Maybe teaching someone, creating art, or helping a cause. Notice what these moments have in common. They likely point to your deeper purpose, not a job title or bank balance. Then, take one small step toward that purpose. Volunteer for a project. Share an idea. Or learn a skill that aligns with your values. This isn't about quitting your job overnight. It's about feeding your soul while navigating the world. Have you ever had a dream so vivid it felt like a message? Or been drawn to a story like Star Wars or The Lord of the Rings because it seemed to speak to something deeper inside you, while others see these as mere entertainment? You sense hidden truths woven into their symbols and patterns. This isn't just imagination. It's what Carl Jung called a natural fluency in symbolic and archetypal language. The sixth sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into why you're drawn to the language of the soul and how this marks you as a consciousness pioneer. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who explored the depths of the human psyche, discovered that most people think in literal, concrete terms, facts, figures, and surface-level reality. But some rare individuals, perhaps think in symbols, metaphors, and archetypes. Carl Jung saw this as a gift, a direct line to the collective unconscious, the shared reservoir of human experiences and universal patterns that shape our stories, dreams, and myths. For you, a dream isn't just a dream, it's a map. A story isn't just fiction, it's a mirror of eternal truths. Take Michael, a 5-year-old college student. While his friends binged television shows for fun, Michael was captivated by myths and fairy tales. He'd lose himself in books about ancient gods or notice how a recurring dream of a dark forest seemed to reflect his own fears of the unknown. During a class discussion, he connected the dots between a Greek myth and a friend's struggle with ambition. Seeing the hero's journey playing out in real life, his classmates thought he was overanalyzing. But to Michael, these patterns were as clear as day. Sound like you, Carl Jung believed this fluency in symbolic language is a sign of advanced consciousness. You see the world through a lens of meaning, spotting archetypes like the hero, the shadow, or the wise guide in everyday life. You might find yourself drawn to ancient texts, noticing synchronicities others call coincidences, or understanding complex spiritual ideas without formal study. As Carl Jung put it, dreams are the royal road to the unconscious. Your ability to read these signs isn't random. It's a connection to the deeper currents of human experience that most people overlook. If you find profound meaning in dreams, if myths or stories feel like they're speaking directly to you, or if you see patterns in life that others dismiss, you're showing this sign. Your mind doesn't just process facts, it decodes the language of the soul, revealing truths that guide you and others. Here's a practical takeaway. Nurture your symbolic fluency. This week, keep a dream journal, or note a story, song, or image that resonates with you. Write down what it might mean. Does it reflect a fear, a hope, or a truth about your life? Then, try expressing this insight creatively, like through writing, drawing, or even a conversation. This isn't about overthinking. It's about honoring your gift for seeing the deeper layers of reality. Carl Jung believed this practice strengthens your connection to your truest self. Your unique gifts are still unfolding. In the next chapter, we'll explore why your deepest suffering might be the key to your greatest transformation. Stay with us. This journey into your psyche is about to get even more profound. Have you ever gone through a period of pain so deep, it felt like the ground beneath you crumbled? Maybe it was a loss, a betrayal, or a dark moment when you questioned the point of everything. Yet, somehow, That suffering reshaped you into someone wiser, stronger, more compassionate. This isn't just survival. It's what Carl Jung called the dark night of the soul, the seventh sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into why your deepest pain might be the key to your greatest transformation and how it marks you as a consciousness pioneer. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who plumbed the depths of the human psyche, discovered that some people face suffering that goes beyond ordinary hardship. Most people deal with life's ups and downs, but you've endured existential crises, moments that strip away everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world. Carl Jung called this the dark night of the soul, a grueling psychological journey that's part of individuation, the process of becoming your truest, most whole self. For you, pain isn't just pain. It's an initiation into a higher purpose. Take Emma, a 40-year-old therapist. 5 years ago, she lost her brother to a sudden illness, plunging her into a depression that felt like falling into a void. She questioned her career, her beliefs, even her reason for living. But as she navigated that darkness, something shifted. Emma began to see her pain as a teacher, guiding her to understand grief and resilience in ways she never could before. She started using her insights to help her clients, turning her wounds into wisdom. Her suffering didn't break her. It rebuilt her into a wounded healer. Sound like you? Carl Jung believed that those who experience these dark nights are chosen by life to walk a path most avoid. Your suffering, whether it's loss, betrayal, or an inner crisis, forces you to confront the shadows of your psyche, making you more aware, more empathetic, more connected to the collective unconscious. This isn't random bad luck. It's preparation. As Carl Jung put it, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Your pain has carved out space for compassion and insight, turning you into someone who can guide others through their own darkness. If you faced periods of despair, rebuilt yourself from nothing, or found that your hardest moments led to unexpected growth, you're showing this sign. Your suffering isn't a flaw, it's a forge, shaping you into a vessel for healing and transformation. Here's a practical takeaway. Reflect on your pain as a teacher. This week, write down one moment of deep suffering and what it taught you, maybe about strength, empathy, or purpose. Then, consider how you can share that lesson, whether through a kind word, a creative project, or supporting someone else. This isn't about dwelling on the past. It's about seeing your pain as a stepping stone to your calling. Carl Jung believed this reflection is key to individuation, helping you become who you're meant to be. Your journey is reaching a turning point. In the next chapter, we'll uncover why you might feel an unshakable calling to heal and awaken others. Stay with us. This exploration of your psyche is about to reveal your true purpose. Have you ever felt a pull deep inside? An unshakable urge to help someone see the truth, find their way, or heal from their pain, even when it makes you unpopular or misunderstood? You can't stop yourself from sharing insights or sparking change. This isn't just compassion, it's what Carl Jung called the calling of a carrier of consciousness. The eighth and final sign that you might not be meant for this world. Let's dive into why you feel driven to heal and awaken others, and how this marks you as a consciousness pioneer. Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist who illuminated the human psyche, believed that some people are born with a mission to push humanity forward. While most live within the comfort of society's norms, you feel a fire to challenge illusions, speak hard truths, and help others wake up to their potential. Carl Jung called these individuals carriers of consciousness souls who incarnate to spark evolution, to heal collective wounds, and to build a new way of being. Your sense of not belonging isn't a flaw. It's because you're here to create a world that doesn't yet exist. Take John, a 42-year-old counselor. Despite feeling like an outsider his whole life, John always found himself drawn to helping others through their darkest moments. At a community event, he overheard a stranger venting about feeling lost in life. Without hesitation, John shared an insight about embracing one's unique path, sparking a conversation that left the stranger visibly moved. His friends warned him to stop playing therapist in public, but John couldn't help it. He felt compelled to shine a light where others saw only darkness. Sound Like You, Carl Jung discovered that people like John are driven by a deep need to serve humanity's growth. You might be a teacher, artist, writer, or simply someone who can't stay silent when you see people trapped in fear, delusion, or pain. As Carl Jung put it, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Your calling makes you a mirror, reflecting both humanity's shadows and its untapped potential. This can make you uncomfortable to others because you challenge them to grow, to see beyond the ordinary. If you feel compelled to share truths, even when it's risky, if you're drawn to healing or inspiring others, despite feeling like an outsider, or if you sense your purpose is tied to something bigger than yourself, you're showing this sign. Your mission isn't to fit in, it's to help humanity evolve. Here's a practical takeaway. Embrace your calling by taking action. This week, identify one way you can share your insights. Maybe it's a conversation with a friend, a post online, or volunteering for a cause that matters to you. Write down how it feels to make a difference. No matter how small, this isn't about changing the world overnight. It's about honoring your role as a carrier of consciousness by taking one step toward awakening others. Carl Jung believed this is how you fulfill your purpose. This is the final sign. But your journey doesn't end here. In our closing chapter, we'll tie all 8 signs together and give you a powerful call to action to embrace your role as a consciousness pioneer. Stay with us. This is where your true purpose comes into focus. You've just walked through the 8 signs that you might not be meant for this world and never were. From seeing reality differently with a deeper lens, to feeling drained by social interactions, to observing humanity like an anthropologist, to resisting unworthy authority, to finding conventional success hollow, to speaking the language of symbols, to transforming through profound suffering, and finally, to feeling called to heal and awaken others. You now see why Carl Jung called you a consciousness pioneer. These signs aren't flaws. They're proof you're wired to push humanity forward, to challenge illusions, and to create a world where authenticity reigns. Carl Jung's message is clear. Your sense of not belonging isn't a curse, it's your greatest gift. As he said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. You're not here to fit into a world that feels too small for your soul. You're here to expand it, to heal its wounds, and to awaken its potential. Every time you trust your unique vision, honor your need for solitude, question outdated norms, or share your hard-earned wisdom, you're planting seeds for a better future. You're not an outsider. You're a trailblazer, a wounded healer, a carrier of consciousness shaping what's to come. Here's your call to action. Embrace your role today. Pick one of these 8 signs that resonates most and take a small step to live it fully. Maybe it's journaling your dreams to decode their symbols, speaking up against an unjust rule, or helping someone see their own light. Share your story in the comments below. What's one moment when you felt like you didn't belong? And how can you turn that into your strength? Your experience could inspire someone else to embrace their calling. Don't stop here. Subscribe to Jung Psyche Hub and hit the bell to dive deeper into the mysteries of your psyche. If this journey opened your eyes, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who feels like an outsider too. Together, let's build a community of consciousness pioneers who see clearly, live authentically, and change the world, one truth at a time. Carl Jung would tell you, your difference isn't a burden, it's the spark humanity needs. Let's ignite it together.